I heard about it this morning, I'm feeling happy today. Gonna pack my cares in a window and blow them all away.
Hello, good sirs and good madams. I'm 30 and welcome to my YouTube channel. Cuphead. An awesome sauce game with awesome sauce gameplay. Awesome sauce. Anyways, let's get on to it. Cuphead is a game released in 2017 by a developer of the name Studio MDHR. The two main people in the studio are Chad and Jared. Chad and Jared are two Canadian boys who wanted to make this really awesome run and gun, and by God, it is awesome. Over the midst of the event, whom shall not be named, I sought out a challenge so magnificent, so legendary, I decided to get and finish Cuphead.
The battle will be legendary!
The game starts with the characters Cuphead and my boy, Mugman. Side note, I played as Mugman majority of the time. I don't know, I just have a soft spot for the second best Luigi type characters.
Huh? I'm a star!
They apparently made a deal with the devil and you get sent out on a mission to collect contracts for the devil and his assistant, King Dice, who is the literal bane of my existence. You come across bad guys like some mermaid chick, a zeppelin, clowns, a big blue ball, and a dragon. Pretty simple. Yup, pretty simple. The gameplay itself, not so much. It has fun run and gun mechanics fit for a child and his older brother to play together. It reminds me of Yoshi's Woolly World.
If Yoshi's Woolly World was infinity times harder with random ass patterns and had the devil in it, gave you only 3 hearts and some shooting thingies that don't come out with your hand, needs you have Peter Parker reflexes.
This game! Oh, this game is hard. And I mean, hard. That's what she said. It requires you to have mastery of the button because you literally won't have any time to look down on the controller while you face literally every obstacle on the screen. While yes, in hindsight, it's still a run and gun game, but this run and gun requires a lot of patience and trial and error. You get dashes and other superpowers when you manage to charge up that thingy on the bottom of your screen, basically your alt or something. You basically just keep shooting at the bosses while you dodge things that tries to hit you back. It requires you to memorize patterns and basically get timing for things right just when they appear. Some bosses are easy and a lot of bosses just make you want to rip your hair out. Until you get that sexy and satisfying knockout screen at the end. Basically an indicator that your anus can finally stop tensing up now. Your main hub is a map to the world and it basically works like Super Mario 3 but with more freedom. You basically get a chance to go and face any boss you want in that world at any time. The game also gives you a chance to upgrade or buy new items from this pig with an eye patch. You pay for these upgrades with coins, which you can collect in some areas in the world where it's basically a 2D side-scroller, and the goal is to get from the start to the finish. Honestly, these levels were not much to gawk at and I just blazed through them. I didn't care much for the upgrades, because I like the challenge of just doing it without the upgrades, but for the sake of trying things, I did try to upgrade here and there, especially if my brother played with me. Which may drastically change the difficulty of the level of the game, but still, even with those upgrades, the game is still challenging. Once you finish that world, the other parts of it start to open up and give you access to new and harder enemies. Variety! Literally a one thing that games in this day and age lack. Back then, we had our Marios, Links, Master Chiefs, and even our Big Daddy Kratos. But that was like, what, 15 to 30 years ago? In the last 5 or even 10 years, who exactly are the newest iconic video game characters who's universally loved and known? Yeah, what, like Marcus in Watch Dogs 2? Yeah, I don't think so. I guess we have Ezio from Assassin's Creed, but that series has been dead since Sand Simulator 2017. That's besides the point. Cuphead has this sense of variety to it that new games fail to capture. The gameplay may just be a run and gun, but at the end of it all, that's just the heart of it. This game is an entire working body. If one thing changes, nothing will work. You take out the soundtrack, boom. All you're staring at is a joyless husk of colors. You take out the vintage aesthetic, and you're stuck with a generic hard run and gun. You take out the characters, and you literally don't have a game. For a game that barely has voice acting, aside from the narrator and King Dice, whose song, not to mention, is just mwah. Okay, the character in these games are so fun and eccentric. Just their animation speaks a lot to who they are. You see that bunny? You'll already immediately know that that bunny is wasted as hell. You see that store clerk pig? The way he looks and sounds already emotes so much story behind him. Is he a military veteran? Or is he just a tough guy trying to protect his store from the evil surrounding it? Anyways, characters' designs, animation, and even how you fight them tells a story. It may not be The Last of Us, sure, but it's certainly better than a lot of other games. This was the variety I was looking for. I can imagine Cuphead and his pal Mugman chilling with other iconic video game characters because they are unique and their designs are iconic. The story itself may be simple, but what carries it and gives it more depth is the gameplay and the visuals of it all. This video game is one of the best examples of show and don't tell. You can see things happen on screen as you play. You can see the devil making their lives a living hell. You can see King Dice's frustration the moment you step into the last world. And as you get deeper into fights, you can see the bosses getting afraid and angry just when they're about to lose the fight. That fear and anger coexists with the gameplay. The nearer you get to the end, the more frustrated the bosses get and the harder the gameplay gets. This game doesn't have its flashy synchronization climb to the top of something to see the world type of thing that Breath of the Wild or Assassin's Creed has. But this game still captures showing the world by literally showcasing their characters and how they move within the fights you get into. And in my opinion, that's the best way to take advantage of your visuals. Give me the blue ball boy getting angry and putting on his boxing gloves rather than some wide shot of a city, because this creates a sense of stake. You are put into that showcase. You are in the middle of it. Don't get me wrong, I love Assassin's Creed. I even like Watch Dogs sometimes. And I can literally play any game. My favorite game as a kid was Chicken Little in the PS2, and I literally had God of War 2 laying around there. And I still chose Chicken Little. But this game, man, this game, Cuphead is just something else. Its presentation gives you a sense of nostalgia and unfamiliarity at the same time. Its gameplay has a sense of satisfaction that not a lot of games can replicate. I like to believe we will look back at this game 30 years from now and still think this is a game that's good. Not just good for its time, but just good. For a game that tries to replicate something old, it does seem timeless. And a timeless video game is something truly unique that only a dozen of games manage to pull off. That's all, good sirs and madams. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for listening to me rant about video games. There's more to come? Maybe? I don't know. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye now.